Hey guys, it's Leanne. Let's do my foundation declutter. I'm so excited to go through all of these and get rid of some. It's just been long overdue. First thing I want to talk about is this Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation. And I have it in the shade, just wiping it off. Let's see. 2.50 in. And last time I used it, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I do want to give it another go. I don't want to just write it off after one use. So I'm going to hold on to this one. That's going to be a keep. I have the Ulta Beauty Complexion Crush Medium Coverage Foundation in the shade Light to Medium Neutral. I'm going to keep this one as well. I really do love this foundation. It's pretty inexpensive. This one I'm going to declutter, the CoverGirl Outlast Extreme Wear in the shade 825 Buff Beige. It's just too light for me. And it says it's a primer, concealer, and foundation in one for a naturally flawless finish. Humidity proof, covers imperfections, and evens out skin tone, feels comfortable, lightweight, and breathable. So I have somebody in mind for this. I'm going to put it in my declutter pile. Next, I have the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation, and I have two shades. I have Light 60 in, and then I don't know what this one is because the sticker came off. But I believe, based on the bottom, I think it's maybe 80 in and 60 in. I'm not really sure. But I do love this foundation. Let me shake it up and show you on my hand. I'll get a little pump out. Yeah, this one's 80 because it's more yellow toned. That one. And then this one is 60. And usually I'll mix the two and it's perfect. Let's see. Yeah. So 60 is more like pink undertoned and then 80 is yellow. And the mixture of the two makes a really good match for me. See that? I really do enjoy this foundation. It's pretty. And it's inexpensive. If you've not tried ColourPop, you're missing out. They've got some good products. So I'm going to keep those. Next up, I have the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation. And I have it in two shades. I've got 455, which is Natural Buff. And then I have 420, which is True Beige. Now, this is another one that I have to mix, so I'm going to keep them both. I do love this foundation. It's very pretty. Then I have the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless, and I have it in the shade 128 Warm Nude. This one's a little bit off for me skin tone-wise, I'm pretty sure. Let me look. It's been a while since I've used this. I don't know. It kind of blends right into my skin, so let me get a little bit more over here on this hand to show you. I don't want to waste a lot of these, but this is a really good foundation. But yeah, this one is a warm undertone, but for some reason, it really just works for me. It blends right in. I don't have any issues with it. It's a good foundation, so I'm going to keep it and continue loving that one. All right. Next, I have the CoverGirl and Olay Simply Ageless Hyaluronic Complex and Vitamin C 3-in-1 Foundation. I cannot remember what I thought of this, so let me do a little shaky shake and pump. I pumped out a lot that time to see. And the color is definitely a little off. I pumped out enough just now to do my whole friggin' base, I think. It's just a lot, but yeah, it's like a moussey whipped texture. I don't know. Definitely not the right shade, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter that one. These are, I don't know. I haven't made up my mind about them. It's the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation, and it's the new improved formula. It says with skin perfecting niacinamide, and I have the shade 35 Natural Beige, and then I have the shade 36 Hazelnut Beige. I should have went a little lighter because I believe both of these are kind of like borderline wrong and a little too dark. But this one's 36, and it's I think this one's the closest. But I do not like the dropper, first of all. And they have a strong scent, like perfumey, I don't know. almost like baby powder scent. It's very pretty. I might keep that one because it's close to my skin. And then let me look at the other one, 35. Let's see what I think. Yeah, I knew one of them was off. This one's too warm. Let me blend it and show you. This one's a little too warm. So I think I'll get rid of that one and keep 36. I do need to die down my collection a little bit. Alright, this is the NARS Soft Matte Foundation in the shade Fiji Light 5. This is the wrong shade for me, but I do like to use this as a mixer. So if I have a foundation that's just a little too dewy or something, I like to mix a little bit of this in with it. This one's just a hair too light on its own and a little bit too yellow, but like I said, I do like to mix it if I have something that's a little too dark and a little too dewy. This is a good mixing formula, so I'm going to keep that. Alright, one size turn up the base BBB cream Beauty Blur Balm. I have it the shade medium 1N. I absolutely love this stuff and I will not be decluttering it. It's just so good. It's really good for people with like combination to oily skin, I believe, in my opinion. But I'm gonna keep it. I was just kind of wiping it off because it does get a little messy. Next, I have the Too Faced Born This Way Matte. I've got two shades. I've got Natural Beige and then I have Porcelain. So let me show you. Normally Porcelain would be way too light for me, and I got this on purpose to try to bring this one down and cool it down. But let me just show you. So this is the shade that I needed to get cooled down a little bit because it was too warm. So see how that's a little too warm for me? That again is Natural Beige. Let me show you Porcelain. Porcelain in most foundations is going to be like really fair. See how it's very yellow and it's not much lighter than this shade? So Porcelain I can keep, but the other one is just way too orange. So I'm going to get rid of that one. The Natural Beige. I'm going to declutter that one. Next up, I have the Oma Beauty Say What Weightless Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation in the shade Honey Honey T1N. I'm going to keep this. I need to use this more. I need to reach for it more because the times that I've used it, it's been beautiful. So let me pump it out and make sure I'm good on the shade. It's a little dark for me. I normally have to mix in my like pigment, my mixing pigment. Yeah, it's a little too warm on its own, but it's very pretty. I do like this foundation. See what I blend? I mean, it would be good for summertime, but right now it's a little too dark. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to continue to play with that one. Okay. Of course, I'm going to keep my mixing pigment that I'm talking about from LA Girl. Next up, I have Fenty Beauty. I've had this one for quite a while. It's the Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation, and I have it in the shade 260. This is a pretty good match for me. It's borderline a little warm, but I mean, it almost blends into my skin tone there. You can almost not even see it. So it is a pretty good match, and I do enjoy this formula. I'll tell you what, this one and the NARS Soft Matte, I used to mix those, and it was beautiful. I would not suggest it if you have dry skin, but if you have oily to combo skin, you should try that. And I think this Fenty Pro Filter is on sale on Ulta, if I'm not mistaken. Sometimes it's on sale on Sephora too. Makes me wonder if they're coming out with a new one soon. Maybe. But I'm going to keep it. Alright, next I have Dior Forever Matte and the shade 3N. My perfect shade in this would be 2.5N. This one's a little too warm for me, but it's a gorgeous foundation, and it's perfect in the summertime, And I can add in a little mixing pigment and it works just fine. So she's not going anywhere. She's beautiful. And she's expensive. Next up is the Lancome Tint Needle Ultra Wear in the shade 260 Bisque Neutral. It's in a frosted bottle, so it looks light, but it's really not. It's actually quite perfect for me. But I don't reach for it that often. It's just not like it's not really a full coverage foundation. And the shade is not perfect. It's a little peachy for me, but I can make it work. But I'm going to keep it. I want to get the new one, the Care and Glow one or whatever it's called. That's the next one I want to try. But for now, we're going to keep that one and keep playing with it. Another keep is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid in the shade N6. I use this all the time. It's a lovely foundation. It's not going anywhere. I actually used that today with the Hourglass Soft Glow in the shade 6.5. I like to use this to neutralize a little bit. Perfect combination. My skin looks wonderful. Keeping both of those. Now I have the NARS Light Reflecting in the shade Patagonia. I don't get the hype with this foundation. I just think it's okay, but it's nothing special for my skin anyway. I don't know. I'm going to keep it and keep playing with it. It's a pretty good match for me. All NARS foundations lean a little yellow on my skin, but it's not bad. So we're going to keep it. The Pat McGrath Labs, I still have it in the box. This is not going anywhere. I love this foundation for the more like natural light coverage days. It's the shade LM10, and it's a really good match for me. Pulls a little warm, but you just have to give it a good mix. It's a very watery foundation. Very, very watery. Let me see. I don't want to... It's got a pump. I don't want to swatch everything. Just know this one's a pretty good match for me. And I'm keeping it. I love it. Alright, this is a little sample that I got from the Lancome Tint Needle Ultra Wear Foundation in the shade 220 Buff. So, I am in the shade 260 Bisque Neutral. And that one is like perfect, borderline a little peachy. But this 220 Buff was almost perfect for my mom, just a smidge too dark for her. And she's very fair. I'm going to declutter this, and I hope it will match somebody I have in mind. So I'm going to put that in my declutter pile. Alright, next I have the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation, Hyaluronic Acid Longwear in the shade 40 Neutral Hazel. This one's almost a perfect match for me, especially in the summertime. Love this foundation. I also have it in the shade... I think it's Neutral Macchiato. Yeah, I think this one's Neutral Macchiato. This one's like perfect shade match for me right now. Neutral Hazel is a little bit more yellow, and Neutral Macchiato is more like pinky neutral. I don't know. They both can work for me, and I have them all in different shades because I love this foundation so much. So yeah, that one was Neutral Macchiato. This one's Neutral Sand 30, and then Warm Beige 20. So Warm Beige works pretty well for me when I'm not self-tanned. So I'm going to keep that one. Neutral Sand I got to mix in with Neutral Hazel. Let me do a little pump of that to show you that. It's too light on its own for me. But it's such a good foundation, you guys. And I debate keeping it as another mixing foundation because some of these need something to cool it down. And that would be a good option. And this is just such a good foundation. It's inexpensive. It's like $10 or $11. And I promise you, it's so good. And I do not find that this one has the scent that the other Catrice foundation does. So just keep that in mind. If scents bother you, you would want to go with the True Skin. Alright, moving on. I've got the Estee Lauder Double Wear Sheer Long Wear Makeup. This is in the shade 3-in-1 Ivory Beige, which is my perfect shade in Estee Lauder. Here you can see the numbers on the bottom. I wore this recently, and it's perfect for those like light makeup days. So good. Not going anywhere. This one's not going anywhere. It's the Clinique Even Better Clinical Serum Foundation in the shade CN52 Neutral. This is like a perfect match for me. Love, love, love this foundation. So good. Next, I have my MAC Studio Fix in the shade NC35. This one's way too warm for me, so that's why I have N6. The combination of these two works really well for me. I'm going to keep it. I think I'm actually going to let this one go. I've had it for quite a while, and I don't reach for it enough. It's the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation, SPF 15, full cover, oil-free, shine control. I'm going to let this one go. It's way too light. And I have other ones that I can use as a mixing medium, which is what I used to use this for. It's a shade Neutral Sand. I'm hoping this will work out for one of my friends. So I'm going to declutter that. Next, I have two. I have the Estee Lauder Double Wear in 3-in-1 Ivory Beige, which is my shade. I'm going to keep that. But I also have it in the shade 2-in-1 Desert Beige for when I'm not self-tanned. But it's actually pretty light for me when I'm not self-tanned. So I don't know. I might see if this will work for somebody else. Or do I want to use it as a mixing? It's a good mixer too. Estee Lauder is a really good foundation. I'm going to keep it for now. I talked myself right into that. Alright. Now I have 3 of these and I'm keeping them all because of the same reasons. Shades. 129 Medium Beige. This is the Maybelline Superstay Active Wear 30-hour foundation, and I love this stuff. I use the crap out of this. Medium Beige 129 is pretty much my perfect shade. But before that, I had 220 Natural Beige and 128 Warm Nude and mixed the two together and made my perfect shade. So I'm going to keep all of these and continue to love that foundation. It's so good. Next, I have this LYS Triple Fix Serum Foundation. This one's new to me. I've only used it one time, and I was not impressed with my first impression was not good. So let me pump a little bit out, and let's talk about it. So this is the shade MN1. Shake well before use. The shade's fine. Like, it blends out, and it was a good shade match for me. I just, for some reason, it didn't sit well on my skin. I don't know if it was the primer I was using or what. So I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm going to continue to play with it and see what I think. But this has really good reviews. I'm going to keep playing with it and hopefully it works out for me. As of the first impression, no. I mean, I was actually really disappointed in it. But we'll see. It could change. Next, I have the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Moisturizing Makeup with Broad Spectrum SPF 45. I love keeping these foundations that have SPFs in them. This one is 3-in-1 Ivory Beige. It's my typical shade. Love this stuff. It's very beautiful. It's just like Double Wear, but more SPF, and it's much more like dewy radiant. It's very pretty. I think people with dry skin would love that. Alright, so I have this Urban Decay Hydromaniac Tinted Glow Hydrator, and I have it in the shade Light Medium 40. I have 2 of them. I ordered one, and they messed up my order, and they sent me another one of these instead of what I needed. Like, I think it was a primer that was missing from my order, and they sent me like a whole new order. I don't know. Anyway, light medium, it's a little bit on the warm side for me, but I can make it work, and it looks really, really pretty in the summer on your skin. So I'm going to keep it. I don't need both of them. I'm going to get rid of one, keep one. I think I'm going to get rid of these. Let me look. This is the AOA Studios Vita Glow Tinted Moisturizers with vitamin C. I have medium and light, and I usually do that to mix. So let me see. Let me shake it real good. Here's medium. Medium, it's a little warm, but not too bad. And then this one's light. Let me shake it really good. I have not had these very long. That's what I remember about it. The shade light and medium are not much different. And that's just kind of like Shop Miss A kind of thing. Like, of course, light looks a little bit better. That's a little too orange. But the mixture of the two works well. And from what I can remember, it was actually pretty on the skin. So I don't know. Kind of debating on that. I think I'm going to let him go. Alright, next I have the Tarte Sugar Rush Skin Treat Poreless Tinted Moisturizer with Broad Spectrum SPF 20 sunscreen. And I have it in the shade Light Medium. So here's the one that's not opened. Keeping it. Here's the one that's opened. And I actually love this stuff. My skin looks flawless when I wear this. I haven't worn it in a while, but the shade's a little off. It's a perfect summer shade for me. I think there was a neutral shade that would have worked better. But when I blend it in, you can see it's a little too warm. But I love this stuff. It looks so good on. And I can mix it with something. It'll be fine. It's good in the summertime. It doesn't look too orange or anything in the summer. All right, we're keeping that. And then I lastly have the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. I've got one that's opened and one that's not in the shade Light Medium. This stuff's amazing. If you've never tried it, you really should. It's so good. God, I love this stuff. It's such good coverage and like it just perfects your skin. It's so good. Love it. All right, so that's all of my foundations. You know, tinted moisturizers, all that. Let's see. I'm gonna get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got rid of 9. That's not bad. It's not bad. All right, let me count what I'm keeping. 39. And getting rid of, what did I say, 9? Hey, we're getting somewhere. All right, let me put all this away and we're going to get started on like primers and stuff. Man, you all have no clue. That one's going to be hard. It's going to be real hard. I'll be right back.